to the altar. Let us speak much about the altar, because that's where the enemy wants to pull us out from. The Bible says in 2 Chronicles chapter 7 and verses 14. Let us start from verses 13. It says, when I shut up the heavens so that there's no rain, or I command the locusts to devour the land, or send pestilence among my people, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, pray and seek my face, and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear them from heaven, and I will forgive their sins and heal their land. That's why I'm here not to plead for another land, but to plead for my land. That is Kenya. And the Bible says, verses 15, now my eye will be open and my ears attentive to the prayer that is meant in this place. The Bible does not speak about my house. This is my house. This is not God's house. These words were spoken when Solomon dedicated the temple to God. And the Ark of the Covenant was brought into the house. And now God, because he found a dwelling place, he had an altar in that temple. He now spoke. And he said, if prayers will be made from this place, where my sacrifices are given, the place of worship, you cannot tell me your house is a house of prayer for all nations. No, that is your house. That's why after you conduct that midnight prayer, you get into your activities of the day. Even there are people, they do many things in their homes. That is your house. That is not God's house. But the enemy is trying to come in a very smart way to make you comfortable, that he may strike against this nation. He said the prayers that are meant in this place, the house that had been dedicated to God, a place where God dwells, the dwelling place for the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. It is in his temple. In his temple. In his temple. Listen to this. John the Baptist was a voice of God during his time. He was a voice of God to the nation during that time. When you read the Bible, John the Baptist had the grace to rebuke kings, because we see a time when he rebuked King Herod, when he took the wife of his brother Philip. He faced him face to face. And he told him, Mr. King, what you're doing, it's unlawful. And we see the same John the Baptist when he found policemen receiving bribe on the highway of those days. He faced them face to face. And he said to them, listen, what you're doing is wrong. Be contented with your salary. This man was a voice, and that is the church. The church of Christ is a voice in the nation. It's a voice in the society. It's a voice in a community. It's a voice in the family. We carry the solution to a dying marriage. We carry a solution to a divided family. We have an answer to a dying nation. The church is a voice. And the Bible shows us our conspiracy was cooked to shut up John the Baptist. And the enemy came in very smart. There was a birthday. The king called for a birthday. And I remember before then, John the Baptist had already been arrested. He was in the prison. But the king, Aaron did not know what he can do beyond that. Because he feared, because John the Baptist was a prophet, he feared the Jews. But the enemy was pushing for the conspiracy. And the king called for a birthday. And people attended. The wife of Philip, the Herodias, she still attended. And the Bible says, when the music was played, the daughter of Herodias, the woman who was an enemy to John the Baptist, she danced before the king so seriously that the king was moved. I think the enemy possessed this girl to dance in a way to win the heart of the king. But it was a conspiracy to shut up John the Baptist. And the king came to the girl out of excitement. And he said to the girl, ask me what you want, and I will give it unto you. And the girl did not know what to ask because she was very young. She did not know what to ask. She could have asked for a chocolate if she was a girl of this day. She could have asked for bread. She could ask for a smartphone if she was a child of today. But she did not know what to ask. And she went to her mother, Herodias, the woman who hated the church, who hated John the Baptist. It was a conspiracy. It was a network. A conspiracy to bring John the Baptist head cut. And she went and she asked her mother, what can I ask from the king? And the mother said, go and ask him for the end of John the Baptist to be cut and brought on a platter. And the king did not know what to do. But because it was an oath. And that is what the enemy does. When he wants to execute something, he will look for somebody who is in the place. And you find that person might be very innocent. Even he does not know what is happening. He does not know whether it is a conspiracy. But you find you are in a certain position the enemy can use to push his agenda. And John the Baptist's end was cut. Where was the disciples of John the Baptist? Because he had disciples. Where were they when the end of their master was being cut? Who was praying for John the Baptist? Because we see the disciples coming in after the death of John the Baptist, when his head was already cut. Is when they come in and they mourned. They went and they told Jesus about the death of John the Baptist, and they came and they mourned for him and they buried him. They came and they buried him. Listen to me, church. If we are not gonna pray, if you're not gonna understand this conspiracy, and we rise and we confront it through prayer, the enemy may close the church, may bury the church. We need to stand strong at this time. We need to pray. We need to see the conspiracy. We need our voice to be heard. We need to engage God in this matter. This is a spirit of Antichrist that is moving. And it is full of conspiracies. Church, we need to pray. John the Baptist, being a great man, a powerful man, the way he was, a righteous man, he died very painfully. Let's not sit down and watch our churches die. Let's not sit down and watch our families die. We need to rise up and deal with the conspiracy. There is another conspiracy to kill multitudes. There is another conspiracy to kill multitude. We have learned it in the social media. We have heard it being spoken so loud. Thousands of Kenyans. The enemy is after them. Especially the age, the 50s going up. This is a conspiracy. I want to open up your eyes. If you're a man of prayer and if you're a woman of prayer. This is a conspiracy of the enemy to cut off a certain generation. To cut off a certain generation.